भारत बनाम ऑस्ट्रेलिया के बीच आईसीसी विश्व कप 2023 के फाइनल का स्टेज सज चुका है। इस मैच पर दुनिया भर की नज़रें टिकी हुई हैं। ये मुकाबला काफ़ी रोमांचक होने की उम्मीद की जा रही है। भारत के कई खिलाड़ी शानदार फॉर्म में चल रहे हैं। दूसरी ओर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के भी खिलाड़ी फाइनल से पहले लय पकड़ते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं। फाइनल से पहले ऑस्ट्रेलिया टीम को भारत के एक खिलाड़ी से काफ़ी डर लग रहा है और ये बात ऑस्ट्रेलियाई कप्तान पैट कमिंस ने खुद बताई है। कमिंस ने फाइनल मुकाबले से पहले प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बताया कि उन्हें भारत के किस खिलाड़ी का खौफ सता रहा है। आप लोग समझ रहे होंगे कि कमिंस ने विराट कोहली या रोहित शर्मा का नाम लिया होगा, लेकिन कमिंस ने सबको चौंकाते हुए भारत के तेज़ गेंदबाज मोहम्मद शामी का नाम लिया है, जो इस विश्व कप में अपनी सीम गेंदबाजी से कहर बरपा रहे हैं। अब तक वो 3 पंजे हासिल कर चुके हैं, जिसमें सेमीफाइनल में न्यूजीलैंड के खिलाफ लिए गए 7 विकेट का कारनामा भी शामिल है। कमिंस ने कहा कि इसमें कोई संदेह नहीं कि भारतीय टीम काफ़ी अच्छी टीम है। भारत के सभी खिलाड़ी काफ़ी अच्छे फॉर्म में चल रहे हैं, लेकिन हमें मोहम्मद शामी से सबसे ज़्यादा सावधान रहने की ज़रूरत है। चलिए सुनते हैं फाइनल में भारत से टकराने से पहले ऑस्ट्रेलियन कप्तान ने और क्या क्या कहा।
Which Indian bowler or a batsman challenging for your team tomorrow?
I mean, they're all pretty well rounded in all departments. You know, the one guy that didn't play at the start of the tournament who's done really well is obviously Mohammad Shemi. He's a class bowler to right and left armers, so yeah, he's going to be a big one. But again, these are guys we've played a lot, so you know, all our batters can draw on moments where they've you know, taken on these bowlers and done well.
Hello, Pat. Apart from Shami, who else has particularly impressed you in this India side at the tournament so far, having already played them once?
Yeah, I think again, you know, they're pretty well rounded. They've got 5 guys that bowl 10 overs pretty much every match. You know, I think their spinners have done well through the middle overs, Kuldeep and Jadeja. So they're going to be a tough proposition like they always are. But you know, they've won every game, so they've been, you know, very impressive.
Any special plan for Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma?
It was a specific plan, did you say? Oh, you know, we'll have a couple of thoughts, and they're 2 class players, so yeah, we'll come up with some plans, but yeah, nothing specific.
Pat, if I take you back in 1999, Steve was mighty Australia, started the World Cup with 2 losses out of past 3, and then he made his famous remark, 7 to win to lift the trophy. So this time your team also started with 2 losses, and now you are in the final, 1 more to go. Do you find any similarity?
I mean, I keep saying it's a long time ago, so we can't draw too many conclusions from that, but I'm happy to draw a conclusion from that one. So yeah, I like it.
People are already building it up as India coming hard at you for the 2003 revenge, as well as the WTC final, which you also played as a captain and won it. So and Indians also have the home advantage. You expect the Indians to come really hard at you, especially when they are in a kind of form which Australians were in 2003 and 2007.
Yeah, I mean, neither player from both sides were there in 2003, so it feels a long time ago. But we know it's going to be a packed house. There's going to be 130,000 fans here supporting India. So it's going to be awesome. They've been playing really well, undefeated this tournament. But we know at our best we can you know, give them a good shake. We've played them quite a lot over the last couple of years with success. So it's all building up for a nice final.
Pat, you guys are not stranger to playing against India. As the start of the tournament, you have said that you have played India more than any team else. So just wanted to know that have you faced any other more dominating Indian side, or should I say any other more ruthless Indian side than this one?
I think it's hard to say. Yeah, they've certainly played really well this World Cup. You know, I think we certainly didn't. I don't think we scored par in that first game, but you know, we're 1 catch away from potentially being in front of that game. So there's lots of we won an ODI series here early on in the year. There's lots of moments we can draw on where we've had success against, a really good Indian side.
Pat, you said you know what it takes, and you've played in a lot of big games before, big tests, big one-days, big T20s, but 100,000 people wanting you to fail is probably something new. How do you deal with that, and how does the team deal with that?
I think you've got to embrace it. The crowd's obviously going to be very one-sided, but it's also, in sport, there's nothing more satisfying than hearing a big crowd go silent, and that's the aim for us tomorrow. You've just got to embrace every part of a final. Even in the lead up, there's going to be noise and more people and interest, and you just can't get overwhelmed. You got to be up for it. You got to love it, and just know whatever happens, it's fine. But you just want to finish the day with no regrets.
Hi. As a fast bowler, what do you think are the challenges you face while bowling on Indian wickets?
I think, similar to a lot of ODI cricket in general, the ball obviously swings for a few overs, but after that there's not much swing. So you've got to try and create wickets in other ways. It's not necessarily catches behind the wicket like you might have in Australia. So you've got to be brave with some of the balls you use, slower balls, bouncers. You've got to keep it, find that balance between mixing it up, but also not go chasing too much. So I think we've struck that balance pretty well. And, at least over here in India, a lot of the time by the end of the innings, things like cutters work perhaps better than it does elsewhere in the world.
Hey, Pat, I know you've said that you've stuck to the processes through the whole tournament, but at Zip and 2 and, Sri Lanka none for 100, was there ever a moment where you thought, gee, we might not make it this far?
Absolutely, yeah. The proposition at that stage was basically we had to be flawless to make it through to the semis, and fortunately we were. But yeah, absolutely, it's we knew we came up against two very good sides to start off with, but we were off the pace, so we knew that we had to change pretty drastically, and yeah, glad we did.
But reaching the final without a dominant show, unlike in the past. How does it feel to take on a dominant India? But does the tag of 8 finalists, 5 winners play a role?
Yeah, I think with experience, and fortunately some of that experience is playing in World Cups where we've been dominant. We've won before. I think one of the pleasing things is I still don't feel like we've played the complete game. Maybe against Netherlands, but outside of that, we probably haven't. There's been no huge wins. We've had to fight for every win, but we've found a way to win. And different players have stood up at different times. So I think taking that confidence, knowing that we don't have to be at our absolute best to challenge any team, we can find a way through it. I'm sure we'll draw a lot of confidence. All the boys draw a lot of confidence from that going into tomorrow.
G'day, Pat. Has everyone pulled up okay from the other night? And I suppose as an extension, do you expect to go in unchanged?
Everyone's fine. So no injury issues at all. So we'll, coaches and selectors haven't assessed the wicket, so they'll come down tonight, have a look, and we'll pick a team later tonight.
Given the discussion in the lead up to the last game around Marnus and Stoyne, is there any scope, and I know you decide it later, but potentially that if it is more a batting-friendly wicket, that you could be tempted into going with the extra all-rounder?
Potentially, yeah. Those are things we'll weigh up before every game. We're lucky we've got a 15-man squad who we feel anyone can step in and perform. They're all ready to go. Like every other game, we go through a process where, coaches get together and chat through what they think or how they think the game's going to go about, and then the selectors obviously pick the final 11.
Pat, just the year that you guys have had, like you've been on the road a lot, came close to winning a test series in India, sort of, the World Test Championship final, retaining the Ashes, and now from where you were against Sri Lanka to here, is this like the cherry on top? And like, how do you just sum up the year that you have as captain and as a team?
It's been a huge year. There are 4 marquee events that if you have one of those in an off-season, it's a big off-season. We've got 4 of them. So being really proud of all those things you mentioned, not only the wins, but the guys have spent for some of the guys, probably spent less than a couple of weeks in their own bed since the end of the Aussie summer. So, one thing that stayed consistent has been the morale in the group. The guys have been awesome. They're so up for every game they play. And, to put ourselves in a position of this, it would just top off an incredible year. And, probably a career-defining year that a lot of us will look back on in years to come and be pretty proud of.
Hi, Pat. Of all the teams, are Australia most equipped mentally to be immune to a partisan crowd of this size?
I mean, potentially. We play over here in India a lot, so the noise is not something new. I think on this scale it's probably bigger than we would have experienced before, but it's not something totally foreign to what we've had before. So everyone deals with it slightly differently. You see Davey probably dancing and winning the crowd over. Other guys just staying in their own bubble, but it should be good.
How much importance you give to pitch going into a match, and what if it suits to host side? And do you expect, looking into this pitch, do you expect any change in tactics from Indian side?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's obviously same for both teams. No doubt playing on your own wicket, in your own country has some advantages, similar to wickets that you've been playing your whole life. But we've played a lot of cricket over here, so we'll wait and see. I think, of all the venues, perhaps this venue's, the toss isn't as important as, say, a Mumbai Wankhede Stadium or other venues. So we'll be ready in terms of anything they'll throw at us. We'll wait and see, but we'll make sure we have some plans.
Weather has changed. The difference in temperature after sunset and before that is all 7 to 8 degrees. Do you think that will impact in any way, kind of you decide what to do first, to bat first, or on the wicket also? Will it impact you said the wicket is very firm, but will it impact? Because the difference in temperature is about 7 to 8 degrees.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is the dew. This city and venue seems to have more dew than a lot of the other places we play. So perhaps that's something to think about ahead of tomorrow. Again, it might only be the last quarter of the game, but once that settles in and the ball's sliding on, it's quite different to, say, the first 20 overs where it might be swinging. So something to consider. I think you kind of got to weigh up, batting during the day when it might be a bit easier than under lights, but knowing that late in the second innings it could also slide on.
Pat, in the past, a lot of illustrious names have led Australia to titles. For you personally, what would it mean? Have you thought about what would it mean for you personally to probably do that? And is the ODI World Cup still the pinnacle, at least in terms of white ball cricket for you guys?
It'd be huge. We were all kids not too long ago, watching some of those great teams win the 99, 2003, 2007 World Cups, and that's the opportunity ahead of us tomorrow, which is really exciting. And to be captain would be an absolute privilege to lift the trophy with these great bunch of blokes. So it'd be awesome. And in terms of the pinnacle, I think it is right up there. It's got the longest history of kind of a world event where all the teams compete. You only get a shot at it every 4 years. So, even if you have a long career, you might only play in 2 of these events. It's 2015 still a career highlight for me. So I think tomorrow if we win, might pip it.
Pat, here. Australia has a reputation of winning, know how to win World Cup titles. You guys are 5-time champions and going against 2-time champions. Do you feel like you are the favourites?
Don't know about that. I think it's going to be an even match. I think you can make a case for either side. The good thing is I think we've got 6 or 7 guys that won it in 2015. So we know that feeling. Even more of the guys that were there in the T20 World Cup, different format, but pretty much everyone, at least a dozen of the 15 have won a World Cup and know what it takes and know that feeling and won't be afraid to go out there and be brave and take the game on.